It's always important pre-tax law change, and certainly even more now, let alone the sort of anti-bribery laws that have become stronger in the UK and in parts of Europe. Who's using our tickets, why they're using them, and what business purpose is there for it, right? Ultimately, that's why we started using Ticket Manager several years ago, because right, we need a housing mechanism for all of our tickets. And when our CEO or CMO, which they do say, well, who showed up at that event? Who was invited? What wound up happening to those tickets, we theoretically can now pull off a report, and it tells us, if not all that information, much of it. And the other thing is, we have probably a good thing for a financial services company that's publicly traded here in the US, a very enthusiastic compliance group. And so there are certain things that we need to make sure that we are doing. So in terms of who we're inviting, there's actually rules that vary depending on country and parts of the world, that it actually isn't how many times a customer comes to an event, it's how many times they're invited to an event, regardless of whether or not they come. And you can only do over X amount value-wise or number of times to an event, and we need to track that. And that's, to an extent, separate from sponsorships, right? I don't decide who the business is inviting, and they need to get their appropriate permissions internally. But on the other hand, we're the ones, quote unquote, putting on the event or working with our partners to create business sessions and doing things so it's not just the fun and the games, which are great, but also some sort of business justification and talking about our products and services, or learning about what the PGA Tour is doing or our other partners. But more and more there's I'd say, energy around that line of thinking, because we need to do it to be compliant.